hell.
Welcome to a new edition of Dead End Sports. We are live. What's up, y'all?
What up, what up, what up?
What it do?
Okay, I don't see Ken. All right, okay, there we go. All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Dead End Sports. I am your host, 12 Kyle. This is the place where sports opinions collide. We want to thank you for checking out us on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/Dead End Sports. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Of course, I will not be doing this show alone. I will be joined by my compadres. Kenneth, Feefo, and BZ430 is on the way. Feefo, what up, man?
What it do? What it do? I love being right.
Chilling, man.
That's
Chilling.
why I love being on
What'd
this
you say?
show. I said I love being right. Just love it.
We gonna get to you in just a second. Ken, what's going on, Playboy?
What's going on, man? Everything's good, man.
Hey, man.
I've been looking forward to this show.
I know, right? I know. I was just saying before we went on air, man, I really wish we could have done this show Sunday. I mean, it's been incredible. A lot of stuff to talk about, as we mentioned each week. And you know, to be honest, this is one of the weeks I kind of wish we had a live call-in show because I'm really interested to hear what the people who watch this have to say. Then again, I'm also interested because we got 2 hours just the four of us to talk. So I kind of miss both ends of it. Nonetheless, man, there is a new champion. There is a new champion, unless you've been hiding under a rock. Pittsburgh just won the Stanley Cup. Actually, shout out to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh did win the Stanley Cup, but we're not talking about Pittsburgh. Shout out to all the Pittsburgh Penguins fans out there. They won over San Jose. And Golden State, the Bay Area, been taking L's all week, huh? Now that I think about it. In case you've been hiding under a rock, we're almost 48 hours past the new crowning of the new NBA champion. The Cleveland Cavaliers came back from a 3-1 deficit to defeat the Golden State Warriors 4 games to 3 in the NBA Finals. LeBron James wins his third championship, in dramatic fashion. Cleveland down and out, but not all the way out. They fought back and won the series. We're going to cover that hot and heavy tonight. As I mentioned, I got the compadres with me, man. Before we get started, I got to be honest. We always like to, when we make predictions, we like to, tell everybody when we're right and when we're wrong. So I will be the first to admit, and Beezy's on the way, Beezy and I picked Golden State to win. I picked Golden State in 6. Beezy picked Golden State in 7. Now, Beezy's a Pistons fan. I'm a Hawks fan, so we don't have a rooting interest, but that's who we picked. Ken, if I'm not mistaken, picked Cleveland in 6. And then, obviously, after they got down 3-1, that wasn't going to happen. But my man Feefo said from day one, and you can go back and check the records, Cavs in 7, which meant that the Cavs would have to have won on Golden State's home court. So we scoffed at Feefo. We joked at him. B even made a bet with him for $20. So I'm going to start right there. I'm going to start right there with my man Feefo. Feefo, and we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the Cavs. We're going to talk about LeBron. We're going to talk about the historic. We're going to talk about LeBron's haters. We're going to talk about what happened with the Warriors. We're going to talk about the MVP that went missing. So we're going to cover this for the next 2 hours. So tell a friend that the boys are back on the air again. So I got to start first, man, with my man Feefo. Like I said, he called it. I'm going to be honest. I thought Feefo was crazy by saying the Cavs would win in 7. And to his credit, even when the Cavs were down 3-1, we had his group text going, and the only text that Feefo sent that said was Cavs in 7. And he's been sending that text for the last week and a half. Cavs in 7. He didn't have much to say. He just said Cavs in 7. So Feefo, my brother, the floor is yours. Give us your initial thoughts on you being correct, And I'm curious, what made you say Cavs in 7 from day one?
Okay. So first off, I want to start off by saying the only reason why I said Cavs in 7 in the group text was for this moment right here. Because I'm gonna let it all out right here. I'm not gonna write it all out. I'm gonna just say it on the air. So this is the reason why I picked the Cavs in 7. I knew that from last year they could not stop LeBron. They like that matchup right there. They don't have a guy. Harrison Barnes is not the guy. Draymond is a guy that you could put on him. So is Iguodala, but they don't really have a true guy that makes LeBron work on both ends of the court. They just don't. And because of that, he's been able to dominate with or without Kyrie, and he showed that last year. This year, Kyrie was ready, man, and I've always said it. You put Kyrie on a big stage, he's going to show out. He's going to show out. And I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Different All-Star game, USA basketball, three-point contest when I called out when he was going to win it. I know, like, trust me, man, I feel like I'm connected to Kyrie. Like, that's how I used to try to be on the basketball court as well, man. Just ruthless. Like you can't check me. He has a Kobe mentality. He even mentioned it where, he said he had to go Mamba for a moment. And I always believed in him. Just obviously not being healthy. I've always said LeBron needed a scoring point guard. And who better than Kyrie Irving outside of Steph Curry? So I knew, man. I knew it. If LeBron by himself can push Golden State to 6 games, you give him a healthy Kyrie, they're going 7. And the reason why I was still confident when they were down 3-1 was because of just principalities. There's no way that they get beat in 5. There's just no way. Then when they go back home, there's no way that LeBron allows Golden State to win another championship in Cleveland. That just does not happen. That will not happen with a healthy squad. That just will not happen. I didn't believe that. Game 7, what did I say last week? It's too much pressure. Plus, Steph Curry did not have a super bad series. He did not have a unanimous MVP series.
Right.
And when you have a guy like Kyrie coming at you, that man, every time, they dictated a lot of the matchups. And they wanted Kyrie on Steph. And Kyrie gave him business. He gave all of the Warriors business, including Klay Thompson, arguably the best two-way basketball player in the NBA right now. Kyrie is that guy. Kyrie is the assassin. Kyrie is the closer. LeBron is the king. And when you put them together, man, I just have belief, man. I knew it. I just knew it. And Steph, something was up. After that Houston Rockets series, I didn't believe in him the same. So I was just confident, man. I was confident. I knew they could pull it off. The matchups dictated it.
So Feefo, you and we gave you hell on the text. Well, B more so than me. But be honest. Keep it 100 with us. At no point at any point did you waver on that? Did you think, okay, maybe I might have stepped out a little bit too far in this one?
When they were down 3-1 and they went back to Golden State, I was gonna know within the first 3-4 minutes if they was gonna win or not.
And you said that. You said that via text. You said these first 5 minutes will tell us what we need to see.
And when I seen Kyrie out there like that, I said, "Oh no, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way that they're gonna lose this game. There's no way." And LeBron matched them. You know what I'm saying? LeBron matched them. So there was no way that they were gonna lose that game. And then Game 6 at home again. I was like, "There's no way that LeBron would allow them to win in Cleveland. There's no way. You're an all-time great. Like, if you lose in 7 to the 73-9 team, it's kind of another asterisk. Yeah, we're making, we're giving them a pass, kind of, maybe. I know I would have,
right,
a LeBron lover, but it is what it is. That's an all-time great team. But I knew I said it, all of the pressure will be on Golden State. It's not going to be on Cleveland. It's gonna be on Golden State. The weight of going for that, Steph not being 100 or something's off with him. Ever since that chick was in the stands, that's when it all went downhill. Then
you gonna blame it on the chick?
Yo, I'm just saying, is it coincidence or what? You over here looking at lips at Steph? Man, he been set. Like, damn, man, I hope Aisha ain't see it. I don't know.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
I don't know. But I'm just saying, ever since she showed up, Steph hasn't been the same. Then, you know, we know Clay is kind of sporadic. You got great Clay, and you got okay Clay. You know what I'm saying? And Draymond showed up in Game 7, but, bro, I just knew it was going to be too much, man. There's going to be too much. Too much Kyrie, and then LeBron, he carried him.
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, Ken? You picked Golden State in 6. What's your initial thoughts on what we just witnessed as far as the Cavs in there? I'm sorry, you picked Golden State in 6. I'm sorry,
Cavs.
You picked the Cavs in 6. What's your initial thoughts on what we saw? What we just witnessed?
Man, I think it was incredible, man, and I think that for LeBron, he needed this signature moment, you know, for his career, to beat a 73-9 team, to make history in doing it, to be the first team to come back from a 3-1 deficit, 2 wins on Golden State's home court. All of that, man, just adds to a lot of what he's done. But I think that more importantly, it's his signature moment. Right. It's the ring without Wade. It's Kobe's ring without Shaq. You know what I'm saying? And all of that matters a lot when you start to contextualize his career as a player. When you think about all of the things that he hasn't done, when you think about the 4 losses, 2 unfortunate, 1 he deserved, and you know, the other one where they just got mopped up. When you think about the 3-4 record, and then you take into account the way the 3rd ring took place, it doesn't make up for those losses, but it helps patch up some of those losses because of the fashion and the manner in which it happened. You know, we're talking about a 73-9 team who everybody picked to win the championship. They looked dominant throughout the whole year, and I think it was great, man. I think if you want to win, if you break a 52-year curse, this is the way to do it. It's a fairy tale story. You know, he went from a Shakespearean-esque type, a tragic story in a Shakespearean fashion to this. And, you know, I know we're going to talk about Golden State. We definitely got a lot to talk about Golden State, but I picked the Cavs to win. I did not see it in 7. I did not see it unfolding like this at all. Down 3-1, you know, losing Game 4 in the way they did, and Draymond getting suspended, taking advantage of that suspension to give them another game at home. So when you look at it, all they had to do was pretty much follow Golden State's formula against OKC, except they didn't have home court advantage. But what they did have was a chance to at least have a 50-50 shot at winning the game. Anything can happen in Game 7. And when you're down, that's all you want. And there's a saying that holds true. When you have the best player on the planet, you always have a shot. And it came true. And, you know, I didn't say anything when people was tweeting that because I didn't want to, you know, put too much in the air. Because,
just tell the truth, Ken. You weren't going to step out on that limb like Feefo did.
Nah, and it's not that because, look, it's no secret that I wanted the Cavs to win the championship. It's no secret that I wanted LeBron to break that curse. You know, I was pulling for them to win the championship, and I picked them to win for the reasons which is on another show that I explained. And for 2 games, it was terrible. But I saw a glimpse glimpse of them being able to compete, and I held on to that. And then there was game 3, and then there was game 4 when they had a lead, and like Golden State, they just missed shots down the stretch, and Golden State made shots. And Draymond got suspended, and in all honesty, I thought that Golden State was going to be pissed off about the suspension, and they were going to come out and prove something and do something about it. And they did not. Kyrie and LeBron put on a show for the ages, and people want to sit there and try to discredit what they did by saying Draymond wasn't there. And regardless of whether he was there or not, they still put up 82 points. They were unstoppable.
Yeah.
Clay was all over.
I don't. Looking back on it, Ken, I have to be honest. I don't know that Draymond playing would have helped, because I mean they still lost.
Right. Because Draymond was.
And they got him back for game 5 and ended up losing by 15.
Yeah,
at home.
Yep, and Feefo said it. Like, Kyrie in that game just wasn't gonna miss, and Clay was on him. We talking about one of the best defenders in the NBA. He was on him. He couldn't do anything with him, and Clay had to just be like, yo, he got me. Clay had to just eat that one, and it is what it is. Some nights it's just not you, and LeBron, but we have to give LeBron credit for doing his part in the first half. That game was tied at 61. People forget that. That game was tied at 61 at the half. Clay and LeBron put on a show. And in the second half, they just wanted it more. So you win that game, and then you go to game 6. So you're thinking, yeah, they should win game 6 at home. And then, of course, game 7, we'll see what happened. For me, picking Golden Cavs in 6, I saw them splitting in Golden State and winning 2 on their home court, losing in 5, and then finishing off in 6. It didn't happen that way. So, but I stayed out of the text, man, because I didn't want to, superstitions like jinx anything. You know what I'm saying? And I said, I'm going to just let it play out. And I knew that if they won, this was the way I wanted it to happen, because this was the way it was set up. And it felt like this was the way it was meant to be. And it was fantastic, man. And for us to get that game 7, for them to be trailing by 7, for them to come back and really punch Golden State, and for Golden State to punch back. I mean, we had the game. We had the game 7 we all wanted.
Right.
And these teams, for the most part, for the numbers guys, were, when you look at the scoring, the total scoring between both teams, it was identical. They were evenly matched in that regard. And, I know a lot of the games were the blowouts or whatever, but when you look at it as a whole, these were 2 powerhouses duking it out for a chance to win the finals. And we're watching that. You guys are texting, and I'm trying to stay out of it and watch the game, and I'm pacing back and forth, and, because, at halftime I was like, damn, man, I think that's it. And then, they came back, and then they took a lead, and then there was the call on LeBron that gave Draymond 3, and so it was a back and forth battle, and then here come the fourth quarter, and LeBron wasn't being aggressive, and
not at all.
Guys were testing about that. But what he was doing, though, if you really kind of look at it, was kind of brilliant, because he won this game in a LeBron-like manner, a triple-double, doing everything on the court, impacting the game in all facets on the court. And then in the fourth quarter, he put up 11, and he brought it home. And Kyrie hit the game-winning shot, but they're not there if LeBron doesn't put up 11. They're not there if LeBron doesn't hit 3 clutch free throws that we've often criticized him for missing. And then to come back to hit, I think, his only 3-pointer of the game in the fourth quarter with the game on the line, and you down by 4. And that gave him, I think, a 2-point lead or something. So, it was fantastic, man. And I think that when you look back at this series and you look back at what happened in the last series when they didn't have Kevin Love and Kyrie to bind all these together, man, I think now at this point, if people are out there hating on LeBron, I'm not talking to them. There's no point, because
hold that hater thought.
Anyway, so I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. 18 straight points in game 5 or game 6, man.
Yeah.
Look,
Ken.
I'll say, yeah. Go ahead.
So this is the way I thought the series was going to play out. I thought it was going to go 2-2, home team wins at home. Then Cleveland wins on the road. Golden State wins on the road. Cleveland wins on the road again. That's how I thought it was going to play out.
But you still had two. You had them winning and twice.
Yes, I had them winning there twice. I thought it was going to be 7. So when it got 3-1, I was like, oh. I ain't gonna lie, I got a little tight. But like I said, it depended on how Kyrie and LeBron came out. And when I saw that, I said, oh, they're going to win. There's no way. Like, it's you talking about arguably the best scoring point guard next to Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving. And we already know what LeBron could do. So I'm not even going to go there. Come on, man. That was going to be too much for them. That was going to be too much.
Let me throw it to our fourth member who's just joined us fresh off the plane from the D. My man Beezy, 430. Beezy, what up, though?
What up? What's going on?
See you, brother.
Hey, B.
What up?
B, I need my joint fresh out the ATM.
Fresh out the ATM?
No creases, B.
Hey, I got you, Feefo. You know what? I got you. For those who watching, me and Feefo bet it. I think it was the day of. The day of the game.
Yeah. Y'all bet like maybe.
Because I was confident. I was still confident with my original pick. I said Warriors in 7. And I was like, yo, Feefo, you want to make a little wager? And we did. And through the whole game, I was texting like, man, I want my 20 ready. Cavs, pull it out.
Man, y'all should see these text messages, man. I was over here rolling.
I couldn't even say nothing. I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe they won. I could not believe they won.
No, you know what text message got me? And FIFO never responded. When you said it was like, I think it was somewhere in the fourth quarter, and you was like, LeBron's playing like a hoe.
Yeah. I was like, man, here he is again, being passive, and Kyrie Irving over. But yeah.
Oh man, we were rolling.
It was good. That was a good game.
I like the bet that you guys made because, I had a bit of an anxiety, man, because I didn't know what to expect. And I think when I saw that come through, it kind of added. It took a little bit of the edge off, and I actually had a chance. I was like, okay, this is going to make it a little bit more exciting, on the side, because every single shot, the extra added layer to the game, because every time the Cavs would go up, the money would be Ralph's, and then whenever the Warriors would go up, it would flip the other.
Right.
So it kept switching hands back and forth, man. So that made it a little bit more entertaining.
And I thought the Cavs was starting to break down, because it was like at one point, like the end of the third, going into the beginning of the fourth, I'm like, okay, Cavs about to break down. I like if Warriors hit a couple of threes, I see Cavs about to check out. But man, Warriors, Stephen Curry and Clay kept bricking. I was just like, what is going on? So yeah, man, hey, I'm gonna have FIFO 20 ready. I'm gonna have it ready on deck.
Yeah, man, that was funny. I think just my initial thoughts. Again, me and B, we both picked the Warriors. I picked the Warriors in 6. My logic, and I said this when the playoffs started, I thought it was going to be hard to beat a team who had matchup problems across the board from most of the teams that they played against. Beat them 4 times in 2 weeks. When it took Golden State about 3 or 4 months to lose 4 games.
Right.
So I just didn't see this coming. I don't think any of us saw it coming, at least not in this fashion. But I will say, we're going to get into the specifics of Steph and LeBron and this whole series and how it played out, man. But I think at the end of the day, you have to give LeBron a ton of credit. You've got to give Kyrie a ton of credit. You got to give the Cavs as a team and as a unit, Tyronn Lue, a lot of credit, because most teams would have folded. I mean, you got to remember. Let's paint the picture again, because it's been a few days since the last time we've spoken. This team was down 3-1. You're down 3-1, so you're facing elimination, and you're facing elimination twice on the road, a place where I don't think Golden State lost. They may have lost 3 home games all season, between the regular season and the playoffs. So to do that and to go on the road to get the win in Game 5, which was huge, by 15, and then to piggyback off that, smoke them in Cleveland, and then to come back to Golden State and win. I mean, you can't do anything but tip your hat to the Cavs, because 99.9% of any team in any league would have given up. And there's a reason why teams don't make it back from being down 3-1. This was the first team the second team to force a Game 7. The reason why that happens is because by that time, normally if you're down 3-1, mentally you've given up. I mean, like, you have no reason to believe. But the Cavs had one reason to believe, and it was because of LeBron James. So now let's segue into LeBron. What can I say? LeBron was incredible. You know the numbers. He led the team. He led both teams in points, rebounds, assists, blocks. I mean, every statistical category. The guy over the last 3 games, let me give you the numbers, especially because I see some haters in our little chat room here. 36 points for the last 3 games, these most critical games, 36 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. Almost a triple-double in 3 games where you had to have it. So we've talked about it before on this show. We kind of try to stay away from the legacy standpoint of it. But, Ken, I'll go to you first. When it comes to the significance of what LeBron did, where do you stand on how this relates to his legacy and where this may place him?
I think it adds to his legacy. Most NBA fans and people that cover the NBA already knows what LeBron brings to the game. They can objectively see that he's definitely a top 5, arguably top 3 player of the game. You know, there's no denying that. Most people that do not like him for the decision or do not like him because he has apologists out there. Shout out to Captain Sneak. Allows that to and to credit. You know, he says he's a great player, but most people say that anyway. But I think that, you know, when it comes to them, it's a little bit harder to have that conversation because people find reasons to bring him down, and they tend to ignore circumstances, you know, as circumstances of things that happened in his career that got him 4 losses. You know, Love and Irvin being out and him being too young to play against a veteran team, and you know, people don't want to give him pass for that, and that's within your right. But for everybody else that has been able to see what this guy has done, 6 straight finals. You know, he put a team.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's incredible within itself. You know, and even if he would have lost, that's still enough to talk about his greatness. You know?
No doubt. I agree 100%. I agree, and I felt like that going into Game 7. I was so impressed with what he did in 5 and 6. I was okay. Nothing short of LeBron going over 18. I would have been cool with whatever he did in Game 7 because he got him there.
Yeah. And then to go out and to win, to beat a powerhouse team, everybody's favorite, to go in as underdogs, to make history in doing it. I think what this victory did for LeBron's legacy is that it really, and it should have, finally shut people the hell up. Because, you know, we've had an argument with Q on this very show last week. Well, last week, you know, about, you know, LeBron being the GM and putting this team together and different stuff like that. We've had arguments with people on Twitter about it, you know, for them finding every little thing to nitpick. But I think for him to beat this team, for him to beat unanimous MVP, for him to win 2 games on the road against a team that has only 4 losses at home, I think, over the last 2 years.
Right.
If you, at this point, continue to discredit this man, we have nothing to talk about. There's no need to even have a conversation. I'm ignoring your tweets. Don't tweet me. Because at this point, the way he did it, the way this unfolded, and I know they're already talking. They're already saying, well, Draymond was suspended. Yeah, he was. The game was still tied at halftime in Golden State with the unanimous MVP. You know, and then you look at Game 7. Golden State had a 7-point lead at home.
89 with
yeah,
4 minutes left.
3-point ball falling. Curry got locked up by Kevin Love, couldn't break the shot. You know, so they had their shots, and LeBron still won with Kyrie. I'm not going to take Kyrie out of that because he helped, you know, but everybody has help. Raph says that all the time. You need a team. You can't win it by yourself, even though LeBron tried last year.
You just can't do it. 6 games.
You know, you need that other guy. And when Golden State had that other guy, it's a team. When LeBron needs the other guy, oh, he needs help to win a ring. So it's all of these little things that people say that makes it extremely difficult to have certain conversations with people. But what I'm satisfied about is that, you know, he was the first team that 0-32 when you're down 3-1. Like, there's nothing you can do about this championship to take away from his legacy. For all of us on this show, we respect LeBron. We know where LeBron falls. We're going to respect everything he's done up to this point based on his career as a whole. For everybody else, they need something else added on top. And this is the one that you cannot deny. And like I said, if you do, we're not talking. I can't do it. I can't expand that emotional energy having those type of conversations anymore, especially after this. So I think, man, you know, there were talks about him coming off Mount Rushmore. He's on Mount Rushmore now, and I don't see how he could come off. You beat a 73-9 team, dog. Like, you beat a 73-9 team 3 times in a row, a team that haven't lost 3 times in a row since 2013. Come on, man. What more can I say? Shout out to Jay-Z.
Nothing. Hey, that's perfect. That is perfect. B, give us your thoughts on LeBron, man. I mean, his legacy. Where is he in your eyes, legacy-wise? And it's still early because he's still got a lot of career left.
Yeah, yeah, I'm bad with these, because I like to look at a person's career standpoint once it's all said and done.
Same here.
Because is at this point, yeah, he's definitely ranking himself up there higher as far as, like, on an all times list or whatever. Because yeah, like Ken said perfectly, you beat a 73-9 team in the postseason. You did something. You led a team and you did something that no other team in the NBA Finals have done before, which is come back down from 3-1. So I mean that itself alone against a 73-9 team. So that alone itself is like amazing, for LeBron to do and company, and bring Cleveland Cavaliers, that organization, their first ever championship. First championship in over 52 years. And just the first championship just for that organization in general. He said what he was going to do in this letter. I'm going to come back home. My main focus is to bring a championship home for the city of Cleveland. And he did that. he had his goal mark set, and they did it. So, but yeah, as far as like just his legacy, I have to wait to when Kobe, Kobe, same thing we did with Kobe. When LeBron says he's retiring, then as a whole, this entire body of work, because he still has pretty much some more playoff games to play. We pretty much might see him in about 2 or 3, maybe 4 more finals at this point. So yeah, I can't really speak on him as far as his legacy, but like I said, him winning this finals definitely is gonna kind of rank him up higher on the all-time list. But yeah, I mean, Ken said it pretty much perfectly, man. Like, you beating the 73, which we all thought. I mean, it was, just think about it. It was at one point this season that we thought Golden State was unstoppable. Like, we was like, dude,
yes,
who's gonna be? Like, I remember
Ken and Rod said 82-0.
Right, exactly. I'm about to say that, Ralph. Ken and Rod, shout out to Modest Media, was saying Golden State Warriors was gonna go 82-0 because they was looking that invincible this season. That's how crazy it was. And here you go, LeBron James knocking them out. So yeah, man, it's amazing. People always saying, LeBron going this. You gotta think about it, man. Like if Jordan didn't have Pippen, you think Jordan would win 6 championships? If Magic didn't have James Worthy and Kareem, you think he would win 5? If Bird didn't have Kevin McHale, just imagine if Bird was good in the finals and somehow Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish got hurt. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have a shot. Yeah, Bird numbers would probably be crazy because he's doing everything, but Bird would not have a shot. Just like last year, LeBron didn't have Kyrie or Love. He didn't have a shot. He did what he could do up to 6 games. You know, that's why his numbers was retarded because he had to do everything. So, yeah, you just got to look at it from that standpoint, man. Basketball is a team sport. Feefo and I would tell you it's a team sport. You need your team to win these games, man. So no one man army just gonna really do it by themselves. You gotta have somebody. You gotta have role players. You gotta have maybe your second fiddle guy. You gotta have some players around you to ball out. So, but yeah, I think it's amazing what he done. This was an awesome finals, and it just kind of ranked him up higher on the. I don't know if he's like Mount Rushmore yet. I'm not saying he won't. Maybe once this career is all said and done, I can say, you know what, MJ, Magic, LeBron, and like then. But like as of right now, I don't know yet. I just have to wait till his career is over when it's all said and done. I'm that type of guy. I'm the type of guy where I just wait to when your career is said and done. I'll be like, you know what, you was that dude or whatever. You might be that dude.
No doubt. For Feefo, for the man who said LeBron James cemented D-Wade's and started the argument from hell, man. What's your take on LeBron's legacy to this point?
This proves that point even more so. Because D-Wade ain't smelling no finals, bro, without Bron.
Hey, you don't want to start no fights with Cannon.
Hey, unless KD come and do the same thing for him. But D-Wade run by himself is over. But anyway, let's I digress. LeBron, man, to me this is a big stamp, but honestly I think this is the beginning. And this is the reason why I told y'all he should have went to Cleveland. Kyrie Irving is 24 years old. Yep. LeBron is still physically dominant. We saw that block he had against Iguodala. Like how many players could really do that? I'll wait. It's only like 2 more maybe, but that's about it, man. Like LeBron is still physically dominant. This performance right here, I think is the beginning of that run. This is the beginning of the LeBron James dominance. He already dominated the league, but now I think he's going to dominate and win. Now I think he has the youth. He has what he needs to make that run. I think that I don't even know how to go after Ken, but Ken put it so well. I am done explaining why LeBron should be mentioned as the greatest. I'm not saying he is. If you still want to say MJ or whoever, we can argue. I give you that. But LeBron should be mentioned, and it's cemented now. I'm not gonna argue it. I'm not gonna talk about it no more. LeBron has done what he had to do, and he said it. He said, "You know what, man? I don't know why we had to take the toughest road, but they did it." Mm-hmm. And he came up when you needed him. When you needed him most. Like, you just reeled out the stat. The last 3 games. You're talking about we're facing elimination every time we play. You can't. There's 0 margin for error.
No.
Like, we got to come out here and play our best basketball of the season. Right here, right now. And LeBron delivered. 3 games in a row. What do you have to say to that? He's done one thing that no player ever in basketball history has done. Lead both teams. No basketball player has ever done that. No team has ever come back 3-1, man. He's done that, bro. That's it. It's an end of conversation. But when we're talking, I like to project. I like to live in the gray. I like to be in the hypothetical area. Here's the thing, man. I like to enjoy the greatness while it's here. I don't just want to be, use my memory and be like, yeah, I remember how great he was. Yeah, I'm going to cement him. Nah, Bron been cemented. If anybody that knows me, how long have I been saying Bron is up there? He's been up there damn near since day one, man. Look, LeBron James is, to me, the most physically dominant wing player to ever play the game. The best passing wing player that's not a point guard to play the game. The best passing forward to play the game. Like, let's give him that. Why do we have to wait? No. Look, LeBron has proven, and this just cemented it. But I'm telling you, it's only the beginning. I am telling you, it's only the beginning. He got the blueprint, man. Thank you, Pat Riley and D Wade. He needed him. That's his mentor, man. So shout out to him. But, he's just not better than the apprentice.
Oh, yeah. Also, too, shout out for LeBron winning the championship, because I've said it on Dead in Sports plenty of times that he was never going to win another championship, and he proved me wrong.
I don't know why.
Yeah, he proved me wrong too.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm
we
being
talked
a man.
about it.
I'm admitting to my, my wrong. I'm admitting to my wrong.
Same here, B. Same here. I said that LeBron wouldn't win another title, and he did. And so I gotta tip my hat to him. I was wrong. I think one of the things that stands out to me as far as what LeBron did is, I remember LeBron as a rookie. I remember him coming into the league, and I remember his first game. I actually watched it on TV. He scored 20 points, had 5 rebounds, had 5 assists. One of the only, if not the only, basketball player that I can remember in my generation coming into the NBA with a lot of hype and was better than advertised. I mean, like, he's been on this from day one. You can knock him for the losses in the finals. A couple of times he went up against a couple of, teams that were just better than him. And to be honest, like Ken said, if they had nothing short of LeBron going 0 for 18 in Game 7, I had no qualms because what he did, because LeBron, and we talked about it on this show in previous shows that we've had, LeBron is always looking to make the best basketball play. He's not necessarily looking to make the selfish play or whatever. I mean, if he's got a double team, and you can compare him to Michael or Kobe or whomever, he's going to find the open guy as opposed to shooting it himself. Now, his detractors will say, well, LeBron doesn't have confidence in his shot. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. And keep in mind, LeBron's shot, and you haters are funny. I saw people complaining about LeBron, saying that LeBron didn't shoot well on Sunday night. I mean, here's the thing. And if you understand basketball, you understand that sometimes if your shot's not falling, you do other things. You go get rebounds. You get assists. I mean, I saw a guy on the other team, and we're going to talk about him in a second, whose shot wasn't falling, and he finished with 2 assists. I mean, so can you imagine what we would have said about Kyrie Irving if he finished like 8 for 17 with 2 assists? We'd be killing him. So my thing is this. I think you have to put – I'm much like B, I'm not really so much into the legacy thing because his career is not done. I think it's safe to say that he'll be in the finals again, probably next year. But I think LeBron, as far as the echelon, and if you have an issue with this, hey, talk to me. I think LeBron is on track. I think he's in the discussion for surpassing Kobe, even though he has less rings. And I don't get into the whole ring thing because he may surpass Kobe as far as rings are concerned. But what he did just now, I think there's only a handful of guys, and most of the guys we never saw play, that could have done what he did. I mean, he slayed so many dragons on this quest to a finals. And to be honest, outside of their locker room, nobody gave Cleveland a chance. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were even some Cleveland fans who was like, oh, here we go again. So I'll put it like this, and I don't want to get into a discussion about Kobe or to compare him to Kobe, but I think if you put Kobe in the same situation, down 3-1, I don't think he's coming back. I saw Jordan. I don't even know if Jordan could have come back like that. And that's not to compare him to Jordan, but I'm just saying. I think I think once people get out of their feelings, and I'm trying not to be a prisoner of the moment, once people get out of their feelings and get past their dislike for LeBron, at this point, I don't know what for the haters, I don't know what else to say. I mean, what else does he need to do to impress you? Because if you had a problem with, his lack of scoring or whatever the other night, I mean, all you got to do is look across from the unanimous MVP. Look at what he did. LeBron finished with a triple-double. And the game, like Ken said, the game was, keep in mind, when you look at Game 7, going into Game 7, both teams have scored the same amount of points. Cleveland wins Game 7 by 4 points. So this series was decided by 4 points. It was just that close. I take you back to the last 4 minutes of the game. It's 89-89. The Warriors didn't score another point. I mean, LeBron was huge in the fourth quarter. The three he hit on Ezeli, the free throw he hit down the stretch, the block on Iguodala was huge. And during the game, and Ken and I were talking about it, like when the fourth quarter came, I tweeted something out. I said, it's 12 minutes left. This is about who wants it more. And you would think if we started the playoffs, and at the beginning of the playoffs, if I'd have said, fellas, Golden State will have Game 7 on their home court, and they'll be, within scoring distance as far as clearing it out and capping off this season against whoever they're going to play against, you would have taken me up on the bet that nobody's going to beat Golden State at home, to finish out this season. And they lost. And their MVP disappeared. So you got to give, I think people need to get out of their feelings about LeBron and understand what we just witnessed. And it's not, I saw somebody in the chat room say something about we jocking LeBron. Nobody's jocking. What we're doing is giving him the props that he deserves. And if you have a problem with the props that we're giving LeBron, then maybe you're just a hater. And maybe you just wasn't raised right. I mean, some of y'all raised kind of lame. I'm going to just be honest with you. And, LeBron did his thing. And you can't deny what he did. And this is huge for Cleveland because, we said it back then. Personally, I wouldn't have gone back to Cleveland. I would have told Cleveland to kiss my ass. But LeBron is a bigger man than me. And to, be able to share a trophy with Dan Gilbert, I couldn't have done it. But that's LeBron. He's a different type of cat. Now, we talked about his passiveness. I still think he's a little passive. But, we heard all the criticism. He's too passive. He's not, he doesn't have the killer instinct. I still ain't figured out what the killer instinct is. I tell you what, the dude he was down 3-1. And he comes back and damn near averages a triple-double and wins the MVP of the finals. And before we get on to Curry, I got to ask you guys a quick question. Is it just me, or did this seem kind of personal for LeBron? We saw him block Curry's shot, and I think he and Curry have a mutual respect for each other. But did it seem to you like he was really coming at Curry like that? Because the focus became on from the offensive perspective. They kept trying to switch out so that they could get Kyrie or LeBron or whomever else they could on Curry. Curry was the mark. Did that seem kind of personal to you?
Hey, he's not there. He walked off, but I'll go ahead and take the question. Of course. Go ahead. Of course. Look, even when he won MVP, he took a shot at Curry, even though he said he didn't. But he did when he discredited his MVP. And and he took some flack for that, and he learned a lesson. But you're in the finals. You're playing against the MVP, unanimous MVP. I know he felt some kind of way about that, and he started to get it. Of course, it's personal. LeBron is a highly competitive guy. Most people in the NBA are highly,
Exactly.
But he's a competitive guy. He didn't get this far without being competitive. And Curry was taking the crown because this year was all about Curry. Let's keep it real. That's all we heard. Steph Curry this, Steph Curry that. It was the year of Steph Curry, and I'm not taking anything away from that brother. I've said many times on the show, I am a fan of Steph Curry. I was a fan of Steph Curry coming out of Davidson, and I was a fan of Steph Curry, and I was afraid Steph Curry wouldn't have an NBA career. And I remember when he got hurt in the playoffs before, and I felt bad for that brother. So I'm happy that Steph Curry is succeeding. You know, so yeah, I have no problems with Steph Curry at all. But it was the year of Steph Curry, and that's all we kept seeing over and over and over again. If you're LeBron, or if you're Westbrook, for that matter, because Westbrook went at his ass,
Yep.
or if you're KD to a lesser degree, but they tried to put them boys down too. So if you're one of those alphas, if you got that dog in you, and that's all you're hearing, and I'm hearing that there are other people in the NBA that got an issue with the media's coverage of Curry, but if you're in a position like LeBron, you got a chance to take him out and to do it in that way, yeah. So when he blocked him and then started talking crap to him, I'll be honest, I was like, ooh, I don't know about that, man. Because you may wake him up, but Curry never woke up. As a matter of fact, Curry just started crying. He threw his mouthpiece and he flipped out.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that too.
You know, and what I didn't want to see was him block it, talk crap, and then it kind of disappear in the rest of the games. Now he blocked him in Game 7 and told him about it again. So it was completely personal, man, and he wanted it more, and he proved it on the court. And you know, people were saying that he was the best player in the NBA, and we had a debate last week about the show about whether we could switch LeBron and Curry on teams and would they do the same thing. And I was like, no. And people were saying, yeah. Well, I won't even get into that. But LeBron has proven that he is still the best player on the planet and that he's still the best player in the NBA. And it's no longer conjecture or anything like that.
Right.
He went out and he beat what people were saying was the best player in the NBA. And he proved it. And he took it back.
Yep. I think you make a great point, Ken. I think one of the things that we always learn, especially coming up as kids, is that when you're playing against the champions, you can't just beat the champions. You have to take it away from them. And that's what they did. Cleveland took it away from the Warriors. And that's what I saw, where I saw the competitiveness in LeBron talking trash and what have you. I saw that him taking, he was like, okay, you got MVP? Okay, I'm going to show you who's the MVP. They say you're the best? Okay, I'm going to show you who's the best. This is the great, I think, and they'll never admit it, but I think the Cavs fans might have wanted OKC. But make no mistake about it, LeBron wanted to play against Golden State because he knew this was going to be the biggest stage of all time. Feefo, man, your take on the back and forth, well, I don't want to say back and forth, but the competitiveness. Do you think that that LeBron was on a mission to, kind of show Curry up, if you will?
Of course. Like Ken said, look, man, if you play sports, you're competitive.
Exactly.
No matter what level you have something competitive about you. But I think that in the finals, it was strategic and personal. With the switching, how you mentioned earlier, that was strategic. Who's the weak link on defense, one-on-one?
Yeah, and they went at him every time down.
And especially a Kyrie Irving, because here's the thing, man. Look, man, I'm roasting your homie Clay over here. What you think you about to get, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like you about to get that extra work. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Feefo, quick question. In games 1 and 2, it's interesting because Curry was the weak link on defense for the Warriors, and Kyrie was for the Cavs. Mm-hmm. But Golden State went away from that. Was that because of Barnes' struggles, or was it because Kyrie was just cooking? Because they weren't punishing him on the defensive end. They stopped going at him.
They stopped going at him, but the reason why they stopped going at him, Kyrie increased his effort on defense. So now he wasn't the guy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't as weak anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because if you remember, I can't remember the which game it was, but he started fronting the post against Clay. He got like 2 steals off of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they stopped that. See, the thing is, like, when you're playing and you're playing in a series, you know what guys are going to do. It comes down to effort. Defense is effort. But let me get back all the way back. Look, it was two ways. that they attacked Curry. One was strategic. He is the weakest link on defense, so they dictated matchups. They definitely did that. Anytime that they were switching everything, they definitely put LeBron on them. They definitely put Kyrie on them, and they went to work. And that's what you got to do as a coach. Hey, that's what you're going to do. Mismatch. Yo, that's a fish down there. Let's go. Go to work. Let's get that. Then it was personal with the blocks, the extra effort that LeBron went into making sure that I'm going to send this 2-3 rows into the stands and let you know about it. And you know what, man? I honestly think that LeBron got into Curry's head. You know what I'm saying? Because you talking about this super athletic, physically imposing dude. Every trick that you got, he's swatting it away. And you're not having a good series. And you got his little sidekick giving you mad work. Man, that is tough, man. That is tough, man. Yeah, it was personal. I think it was personal and it was strategic, man. And I think, we talk about Bron, but let's talk about a little bit about Kyrie, man, because I feel like his eyes lit up every time he seen Steph. He's like, oh boy, I'm gonna try to make him forget about you, bro.
Yeah, he did.
Cause do you remember the cha-cha-cha? The cha-cha-cha in game 3 or 4?
Oh my gosh.
Cruise? Come on, man. Yo.
Oh my gosh.
Every time, man. Every time Kyrie saw this guy, he went straight at him. Man. This was a very, 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 very good finals, man. I think one of the most entertaining ones I've seen in a while.
Hey, Ralph, remember Kyrie came out with that dog in him last year.
He did. He scored 30 before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And what did I say? I said, bro, look, man, these elite point guards, they can't guard each other. But Kyrie's the one that make you really look silly. He don't like, you see how many times Steph Curry like he got shit over here and Kyrie's this way?
Was on skates.
Man, come on, man. That handle, the best handle I have ever seen. If we're giving Steph Curry the best shooter ever, Kyrie's the best handle I ever seen.
Man, yeah, Kyrie was popping them things too, man. He was making them net switch, bro. Like, and it didn't matter who was on him though. Clay got
it did. At one point it didn't matter who they put on him. They put Clay on him. They put Steph on him. They put Barnes on him.
He didn't care.
What game was it? Was that game 5? He was giving everybody that work. It didn't. And a couple of times Clay. If you look at some of the what was that, game 5 in Golden State where he went for 41, the degree of difficulty of some of those shots. Go back and watch that game. He hit. When you go back and look at the film, you can't play any better defense. But better offense beats better defense all the time. Even the shot that he hit on Curry. Curry was there. It's just a better shot. There's nothing you can say. Only thing you can do is give him down.
You talking about the game?
And first of all, to have the balls to take that shot.
You talking about the 3-pointer?
Yeah, the game-winning 3.
Dude.
Yeah, a lot of people won't even take that shot. So I give Kyrie props for even taking that shot. Because a lot of people won't.
If you look at the shot, it's a step back 3, but he's leaning back. Like he's leaning back when he's taking that shot. I've watched that shot over and over again. It's amazing. That shot, man. That was one hell of a shot.
Yeah. And Curry said there's nothing he could do. He said he was there. He knew what was coming. He even admitted he knew the shot was coming. But hey, boy made it, man.
If you watch Kyrie in a lot of his movements, they're unconventional. It's not what
very much so.
You cannot teach what Kyrie does. What Steph does, you can work at it. You could do all of the drills, and you could do what Steph Curry could do with the ball handle. What Kyrie does, you cannot do, man. You cannot do.
Man, that shot he hit going to the basket off the wrong leg with the left hand.
Yes, with the left hand on Draymond.
You can't practice that. You can't practice, and then it was high off the glass. You can't practice that.
And you say you watched that shot that Kyrie hit a lot. Look at how, his step back. When he takes his 2 steps back, he still has a live dribble. This man keeps his – he had one play that as a point guard, I was a little like, oh, okay, that was kind of nice. They on a pick and roll, they tried to get the ball out of his hands. And he made a simple between the leg move and brought the ball back this way. And he allowed the defense to dissipate while keeping the dribble alive. I was like, yo, that thing right there alone is difficult. Now, most point guards would have picked it up, looking for it. Yo, I don't know how he does it, man. I don't know. That's natural. That's God's
Yeah, I
given.
don't either.
And people forgot.
Because I don't think that you practice that.
Yeah, and Curry, Kyrie was hurt for most of the season, and he was a forgotten man, and he put everybody on notice. Clay, Curry, you're right, Feefo, man, and I'm not gonna echo it, but it was personal with Kyrie and Curry too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I think at that stage, it's everything's personal. And I would be, before we move on to the Warriors, I'd be remiss, man. We one guy we haven't talked about him yet. He didn't really do much in the series, but he played. I thought he was a huge difference maker, and that was Kevin Love. I think he only finished with 9 points, but he killed him on the boards. Kevin Love brought the energy. I mean, Kevin Love, if you look at what he did on the offense, particularly on the offensive glass, he looked like a guy he was their Draymond. He brought the energy off the bench. I think Lou sat him for too long in the fourth quarter. But his energy and what he was able to do giving them second possessions, I think that's the Kevin Love that they wanted. Now, there's going to be a lot of speculation as to what happens to him going forward. But, man, Kevin Love wanted it. And I can't really say that about what he did in the previous 6 games. But Game 7, he wanted it. And I think if you're a Cavs fan or you watch the game as rooting for the Cavs, you had to see that. I mean, like, he really, really was a difference maker. And his offense, like I said, it won't show up in the stat sheet because he didn't finish with 20 points or anything like that. But those offensive rebounds were killers.
It was a tough matchup for him. The matchups also played Fry out of the game. It got Delly out of the game. I said Delly shouldn't be playing in the game anyway. And Lou.
Ken, your man Delly didn't even play in Game 7.
I know. They needed to get him out. He was done. Delly's run was last year and parts of this year. He was done. Mo Williams got in, and Mo Williams did enough because he's an offensive threat, and Delly wasn't an offensive threat. And Mo Williams is a veteran, so he'll make smarter plays. He played with LeBron, blah, 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 blah. And if you notice, Kerr played a lot of the vets. Richard Jefferson, of course, obviously. But I thought what the key for me with Love, he tried. He wanted to be out there. He did what was best for the team in saying, yo, coach, if you want to sit me, you can sit me. Iggy said the same thing, got a lot of praise for it. So we shouldn't love for it, for doing what's best for the team. Because the man want to win a championship. I think at this point, if he is traded, I don't think Love gives a damn. He got his ring.
Right.
And everything that Love went through, every single thing written, all the criticism, it's all for nothing because he got his ring. And he sacrificed just like Bosh sacrificed for the sake of winning. And he had to endure a lot, and it worked out for him. But for me, the play that told me a lot about Kevin Love in Game 7 was when he went up for a shot. He rushed a lot of his shots in this series. He missed. He went for the rebound. He didn't get it. Somebody else got it, but he snatched it out of their hands.
I remember that.
And put it up for a layup.
I think he snatched from Draymond.
I was like, okay, Kevin Love came to play. And the other thing about Kevin Love that we need to point out is that Lou played him in the fourth quarter. And Black would sit him a lot, and at times this year he's been sat a lot in the fourth quarter. In Game 7, down the stretch, Love was out there. In Game 7, down the stretch, Love ended up on Curry. Everybody's nightmare. Even I was like, oh, my God, we are in trouble when I saw them. But Love, for 20 seconds, however long it was, man, played the defense of his life. And he was scared as hell, but he played defense. He was locked in, and he played the defense of his life, and he did his part to earn the ring because, Curry, we've seen him hit that shot all the time. But there's also one other guy that I think we should talk about that was ridiculed in the first 2 games of the series, Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson earned his whole check in this series, all $82 million for the rest of the year.
He did a good job on Curry. He was
not only on Curry, but the rebounds, the blocks. He was dribbling the ball and throwing up jumpers from 16, 17 feet. Tristan Thompson was a difference maker, and he became that energy guy for the Cavaliers that Draymond was for Golden State. Anytime he did anything, he's celebrating like he just won the title. He helped turn the series around. He deserves a lot of credit for what he's done because he wasn't looking like 82 mil in the first 2 games. And so he needs a lot of credit. And Lad, are we gonna talk about Tyronn Lue any before we go to the Warriors?
We're gonna jump to the Warriors, then we're gonna come back to Lue before we get out of here.
Okay. But that's all I had.
Okay. Conversely, let's take it to Golden State 9 only to come up short. This team lost 9 games in the regular season. Ended up losing 9 for total in the playoffs. But we got to start with the unanimous MVP.
You skipped me, Kyle.
To you, man. What?
Kyle?
Huh?
You skipped
Oh, I'm
me.
sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead, Feefo.
No, what was the last topic, though?
We were just talking about. We were talking about.
It was about Kevin Love.
That's what you made it into.
Yeah,
That wasn't
Love.
the original question.
Oh, was it?
Was it?
Yeah.
So Kevin Love.
Well, you can give us your final thoughts on Cleveland.
I swear that wasn't the question. I wasn't prepared for that question. But anyway, go ahead. Move forward.
Go to Golden State.
So let's start right there, man. Let's. Okay. So let's start there. Unanimous MVP, Coach of the Year, 73-9. They come up short. As I mentioned, they had 9 losses in the regular season. They end up losing 9 in the playoffs. But we got to start with the unanimous MVP. B, what do you make of Curry's performance in the finals?
I think I was talking to Feefo? I think I was talking to Feefo about this other day. You know, the difference in this performance is that what we normally see from superstars, you know, come playoffs, not just NBA finals, but just playoffs in general. Curry didn't take his game to another level in his finals. You know, if you're you know, going to be considered a superstar, you have to take your game to another level. You know, not just, like I said, not just the finals, but just the NBA playoffs. And I don't think Curry did that. Not saying that Curry didn't play, not saying he played like boo-boo or he just was a non-factor. He just didn't, you know, you can't be like this, you know, or like this in the playoffs. You know, you could do that in the regular season, of course, because it's a long season. But when playoffs come, you got to elevate that game to another level. I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure all you guys seen players or superstars elevate their game to another level. And once the playoffs times come, you be like, wow. Like, and if you notice, you see their numbers, you know, their averages, you know, increase in the playoff season because they're taking their game to another level. And of course, it's less games, but you know, you got to take that game up to the next level when you get in playoff mode, and especially in the NBA Finals. So yeah, with Curry, he just didn't do that for me throughout this Finals. It's like he didn't take that game to the next level. Like, you know, he didn't, you know, we didn't see next level cheat code mode Stephen Curry, you know, that we kind of got accustomed to seeing. Like, he should definitely, I felt he should have took it up to the next level. I don't know if it was due to him being somewhat injured and he didn't want to, you know, of course he didn't want to make that an excuse, or was it just because of the great game plan, defensive game plan that Tyronn Lue had, and maybe Curry was like, shit, like, you know, you know how sometimes when you think you're going to see a defense and sometimes they're throwing stuff at you or they're doing something different and it kind of throws you off, but you got 7 games to make the adjustments. Curry didn't elevate that game by game 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should, when he was up 3-1, Curry should have elevated. But like, look, we got our foot on their throats. Let's finish them off. And Curry should have elevated that game to the next level, and they would have finished it off and had to repeat and finish it off. This is why I tell y'all, when they win 73 games, I'm like, I was saying this the second the regular season was over with. I said it's not going to mean anything unless they win a championship. People on Twitter, all y'all, and I'm sorry not to sound like an old man, but all y'all kids was being so much in y'all feelings, talking about some, well, dang, let the playoffs start first. I mean, come on. I'm like, no, what I'm speaking is facts. It does not mean anything if you don't win a championship. Will we be talking about the Chicago Bulls as one of the best teams if they didn't win a championship that 7-2? 72-10. No, we won't. This Golden State team is going to go down as the list of teams, the greatest teams that never won a championship. You know, like we talked about with the 2002 Sacramento Kings, them type of squads, 96 Supersonics. It's going to be this 73-9 Golden State Warriors. They're going to be one of the greatest teams to never win a championship. So, when you win all these games for regular season, you have to finish it with a championship. Regardless of how many L's you caught in the series, rather if you was down to OKC 3-1 and you came back, you got to finish it off. It's not going to be easy. You won 73 games. The playoffs not going to be easier. You still got to elevate that game. Chicago Bulls had some fights in them playoffs when they won 72 games. You still got to go out there and play. But the Chicago Bulls, they elevated their game in the playoffs. So that's what you got to do, man. So this is probably a lesson learned from Golden State. Sometimes you got to have these losses that just stings and hurt you. Sometimes it motivates you to get better. We might see Golden State come back and still, probably win 67, 68 games. You never know. So, but Stephen Curry, man, you can be considered a superstar. You have to elevate your game to the next level when it comes to these postseasons, man. Like, I'm just going off of what my eyes. I believe my eyes. I'm just going off what my eyes have seen over these last, 30 plus years of watching the NBA and watching college basketball. You have to elevate your game. And I'm speaking from personal myself. When we had regular season game, okay, cool, we in the playoffs. Guess what? This the state tournament. This is the city tournament. You have to elevate the game. You have to play harder. You got everything. Everything has to be focused, man. You cannot slip up. So that's one thing I would have to say about Stephen Curry. You have to take your game to the next level, man, when you're hitting these NBA finals. Especially after having the season that they had. You gotta finish it off with a ring. You got to, because it don't mean nothing if you don't finish it out with a ring.
Feefo, your take on Steph Curry and his performance or lack thereof in the finals?
Steph Curry, I'm not gonna make no concessions. He was out there, he was playing, but that mojo that he has, that extra, the special sauce that he plays with, it just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. And like B said, I trust my eyes a lot when I'm looking at sports, evaluating talent. He didn't have that extra flair to him. Something was off. And I don't know if it was a combination of injury, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he was tired. I don't know. Obviously, everybody is banged up that time of year.
Right.
Like I said, maybe it was the chick in the stand licking her lips. I don't know. But he did not have that special sauce, man. And it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch because we've seen him go through periods in a game or even stretches of games at times where it looks like that he makes two shots and it's like, yo, forget about that. That didn't even matter because from this point for at least the next 10 games, you can't stop me. And I was sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for it. And I picked the Cavs in 7. I'm like, oh, like when they were in Cleveland, I'm like, y'all better not be chanting MVP for LeBron and get over here Steph Curry mad. Like, I better not do that. And I was just waiting for it, man. And I don't know what it is. But I think it was a combination of things. I think in that series, in the finals, they roughed him up. LeBron got in his head. Kyrie and LeBron both took it to him, and he just did not have it. Whatever that makes Steph Curry the unanimous MVP, he just didn't have that. He looked like a role player shooter on the squad. They looked like they were missing that spark plug. That's what it was. He was just another guy on the team. And the crazy thing about it is, if they would have won, Draymond would have definitely been the finals MVP. And this would have been the first time that the regular season MVP made the finals at least twice and then not win no finals MVP. So, I don't think Steph needs to be let off the hook at all. At all. Because I feel like Kevin Durant has, he's kind of slithered through the cracks and people don't really get on him. We definitely can't get the unanimous MVP, the flack he deserves. 2 assists, like you alluded to earlier, Cop. When your game ain't going, especially as a point guard, you're a scorer, but you play the point guard position. If that's not going right, you look, Kyrie been cooking. You got to get a steal or something. Like you got to do something. You got to do something. Hip check the man. You got to do something. You got to do something. And all I know is it looked like Steph Curry's heart was not in it. And when I saw that, that's when I knew. That's when I was definitely confident. That's why I only needed 2 or 3 minutes of a couple of games when they was down 3-1 to know if they was going to win or not. The same Steph Curry that we saw all year was not in the finals. And there was a multitude of reasons, and I can't pinpoint one, but I gave you a couple. He just, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I hope he hits the weight room. I hope he gets the surgeries he needs to get because, he already pulled out of the USA team. So I hope he gets right, and I hope he gets tougher just a little bit. And hopefully we'll see a rematch again for the third time.
No doubt. Ken, what do you make of Curry's performance or lack thereof in the finals?
I agree with everything Ralph said and everything that B said. And I'm just going to add on to it. First, I want to address the injuries. Curry said he was fine. Curry said he didn't need surgery. I know people are looking at numbers and his performance pre and post injury. And I give you all that. There was a difference. But I'm waiting to see if Curry has surgery. And if he does have surgery, that means he lied to us, and Kerr lied to us, which is well within their right to do because you don't want to show any signs of weakness when you're in the finals.
Right.
That's still no excuse. We remember Portland. We talked about it on this very show. I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
We remember OKC when they won. I'm not going home. Y'all remember that? We ain't going home. Running around on the sideline.
Remember the Portland one? I'm back.
Yeah. Yep. He was fine then. When they were down 3-1, the injuries came. When they came back, Curry was fine. For me, I'm going to be very blunt. I'm going to call it like I see it, Curry choked. And this is the second time he has underperformed in the finals. He wasn't all the way there last series. Delly roughed him up. He got it going late because Black wasn't ready for the Def lineup. The Def lineup didn't do a damn thing in this series. But Delly roughed him up. He underperformed last series. He underperformed this series. This is not an anomaly. We have history of this. And B said it perfectly. And the only thing I'm going to add to what B said about raising your performance is that LeBron raised his performance in the playoffs, and Curry did not. And the reason why I said Curry choked is I don't care if they were up 3-1 and it was a Game 7. The fact is you are the unanimous MVP. You're in a Game 7. The score is tied with 43 minutes left to go. You go 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter. 1 for 6. And you are the MVP. You hit shots all year long, clutch shots all year long. And he failed that city. Shout out to Arrow. It's just that simple. We can talk about the suspension. We can talk about the Bogut injury. The championship title was on the line, tied at 89 all in Game 7 on your home court, and you did nothing about it. You let Kevin Love, who everybody talks about, his defense is terrible, stop you. And you could have drove on him too, by the way. You'd have to shoot the three.
Oh, no question.
Yeah,
that was a great
point. Shoot the three, Curry, but you've been shooting threes all season long. Do what you do, bruh. And it didn't fall. 1 for 6. Feefo's right. We can't give him a concession. If LeBron was 1 for 6, we would never hear the end of it. If Kevin Durant was 1 for 6, we would never hear the end of it. Westbrook, we talked about how bad he was when they lost. And people are glossing over 1 for 6, Game 7 at home, 3-1 lead.
And you know what, Ken? I think Steph Curry said it best in his postgame conference. he started to settle. And I think that that's the adjustment he has to make because obviously he
Mm-hmm.
put the league on notice. Like, hey, bro, I got 40-foot range. Like, real talk, 60%. Check the numbers. He needs to start attacking more and using the 3-point shot as like the alternative, not like the full course meal. You know what I'm saying? That right there just needs to he just needs to sprinkle that in. But he needs to start using that handle that he's worked so hard to get and start operating more floaters, more mid-range shots. Because people are going to drive him off that line. They're going to play him tougher and rougher. So he needs to make his game just a little bit easier right now because they know now. They
Yeah.
know now. And especially these bigger, there's 3 point guards that will go straight at Steph Curry. Russell Westbrook, Dame Lillard, Kyrie Irving. Those 3 guys have no respect for him. No respect. And I think that the rest of the teams understand that. And I think San Antonio did it first. Keep a body on him everywhere. Everywhere. And he will wear down. So Steph got to hit that gym. He got to go through the Michael Jordan regimen. You just got one a little earlier. You just got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to get through the Jordan regimen. You got to put on a little bit of more bulk. You got to be able to withstand the physicality a little bit more, and vary his game. Don't make the 3-point the full course meal, man. You just got to sprinkle that in here and there. But
don't be the one trick pony that I called him. You know, and he has all of the other requisite tools to get to the lane. He has, you know, the top of the. We saw the top of the backboard shot that he hit going into halftime against OKC. He can do all of that. You're absolutely 100% right, Feefo, in what you said. He has to vary his game now more than ever because that's what people are going to play him for. And the other thing is that 2 more things, and then I'll be done. Defense. People railed about his defense, and he got exposed. He couldn't do anything with Kyrie. And look, it's LeBron James. He's 6'9", Curry's 6'3", 6'2", whatever. He's not going to win that matchup against LeBron James. But Kyrie Irving, but you know, you have 2 dynamic guys going against each other. But let's be real. Kyle said it on the show. Somebody said it on the show. They went at him on defense, and they went at him for a reason because they didn't respect him defensively. They didn't care about any of the stats or anything or the beliefs or anything other people were throwing at them about his so-called defense. They went at him. He got in foul trouble, and he couldn't even be a factor on the court. That's number one. The second thing is this. We talked about how the NBA is soft. That final series, that was an old-school physical final series. And Curry got roughed up. And I think people said it. He got roughed up, and it warmed out as the series went on and as the games went on, and he couldn't handle the physicality. And he has to definitely get stronger and be prepared for that because the playoffs is different than they are in the regular season. We all know that. Everybody knows that. And Curry was soft.
And it was compounded. And it was compounded by the trash talking of LeBron James. That's why I love that block. And when he looked at him, like, who is you, bruh? I'm the king. And you missing out here. You can't miss when you come for the king.
Yep.
Come at the king, you best not miss. You know what? I think you guys made some great points. You stupid. The only thing I want to add is I think Curry. Let's not get it twisted. Curry wasn't at his best. I mean, and that's not an excuse. That's what it is. And I don't think Curry's been. And we've been talking about this for the last 2 or 3 months. We have not seen the same Curry. And like Ken said, I'm pretty sure Curry's going to have off-season surgery. He's already said he's not going to play in the Olympics. But to Curry's credit, he's not going to take. He's not going to say, well, hey, I was injured or I was hurt. Because you can be hurt and not injured. I think Curry was hurt, but he wasn't injured. Injured means you can't play. Hurt means you go out there and you do whatever you got to do. All excuses stop once you step on the court of the football field, whatever the case may be. That being said, we kept waiting. We talked about it last week. We talked about it the week before. We kept waiting for the MVP to show up. And he had glimpses. He had the 15 whatever point spurt that he had against Portland. He had a couple of flashes against OKC. He even had a couple of flashes during this series, but for the most part, the MVP was missing. And I think you have to, and I didn't see a lot of the national media, pointing the finger at Steph Curry. This is your team, bro. This is your team. You've got a Game 7 on your home court. You're 73-9, and you went lemon booty. I mean, like, you went the ultimate lemon booty. I won't go as far as to say it's choke, because he did show up, but at the same time, he wasn't. I'll put it like this, guys. Again, and I mentioned in the chat room, all season long there's been a debate about who's the MVP. I don't necessarily know that you can call a guy, I'm sorry, not MVP, but the best player in the game. I don't necessarily know that you can call the best player in the game a guy who is defensively challenged as Steph Curry. Not to say that everybody's got to be a lockdown player on defense, but you can't be the mark. Steph Curry ended up being the mark for Cleveland. Like, whoever had the ball, they was going at him. So, when that being said, when you get to that point, what do? Are you going to step up? Like Ken said, it can't be just about the threes, because I have a question. When you take away the three from Curry, what does he have? I mean, you would think, like I said, 2 assists, you got to do something else. It can't just be about the three-point shot. And Feefo touched on something that I wanted to get to. There was a game earlier this season. I can't remember which loss it was, but Golden State went to San Antonio and they lost. And San Antonio beat the hell out of Curry. Every time he went on that baseline screen, they were jamming him, they were roughing him up. And Curry, they ran him off the three-point line, and Curry really struggled in that game. Again, I can't remember which it might have been their 5th loss, but they got smoked. It was a Saturday night game in San Antonio. They got smoked. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? That might be the blueprint to beat Curry. Rough him up, run him off the three-point line, but he has to be able to get into the lane and create different shots for himself and his other teammates. And, that particular night, he settled for the three. He was jacking up these crazy shots, which normally go in, but that particular night it didn't. And it looked to me like after games 1 and 2, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyronn Lue said, well, hey, we looked at this film and this, because they did exactly what San Antonio did after that point from game 2, from game 3 on. And they were already beating them up in games 1 and 2, but not as much. They weren't doing as much switching. And, again, Curry, you're the MVP. You cannot go, 1 for 6 in the 4th quarter of the biggest game of the year on your home court, for the title. This isn't just a regular season game, this is for the title. So, no, Curry's not absolved from blame. In fact, because he's the team leader, I'm putting a lot of blame on Curry. And I love watching Curry play. I love watching him play. Love watching LeBron play. But I don't think it's even close as to who the best player in the league is. We know who won the MVP, but hey, bro, you just saw who the best player in the game was, and even the biggest hater can see that. Now, if you can't look at LeBron and say he's the best player in the game, then like I said, maybe you were raised wrong. I don't know. Another thing I wanted to get to, kind of went back a little bit to the kind of reminded me of the 80s a little bit. And I actually kind of liked it. A lot of people frowned on it, but I actually kind of liked it. And Ken kind of touched on it a little bit. The trash talking. There was a lot of, and that's another thing too. And again, I think the Warriors, you got to own up to this, because the Warriors talk, and rightfully so, that every team, every player in the league is very confident. The Warriors are very confident. They're very cocky, as they should be. You're 73-9. But do you remember when they went up 3-1, there was talk about them beating the 87 Lakers, and they were joking about this, and Clay said LeBron was soft, or at least he alluded that LeBron was soft. Kind of saying he was in his feelings. Draymond called the man a bitch. There was a lot of, Mo Spates posted a Instagram of something, of a bottle or something, a lot of talking back and forth. And I don't know if it necessarily woke LeBron up, because LeBron stays woke. But the trash talking. Ken, what did you make of the trash talking between both teams?
I loved it personally.
Me too.
We need more of it, and I'm glad they did it. I'm glad he said it was a man's league. Now, we saw what happened after he said it, but 41 and a triple double. But I absolutely loved it, man. And what I love best is that after it was over, Draymond showed that it was just about competition on the court. And I hope we talk about Draymond. I hope we talk about Kerr too. So I'm gonna try to
Yes.
keep this definitely
Yes.
as brief as I can. But I loved it, man. And I think part of the talking has a lot to do with what I sent you guys earlier on the Low Post podcast. After the Warriors manhandled the Cavs because they absolutely did in the first 2 games, they thought that the series was over. They were talking and whispering that they played their finals against OKC, and they didn't take the Cavs serious at all. Even when they lost, well, I can't say even when they lost 30. I'm talking about when they beat them by 2 points. I mean, when they went up 2 games on them and basically just handled them. Windhorst said he heard a lot of whispering that they were talking about their finals was against OKC. And we all know the Warriors are a cocky team. We've talked about it. I've talked about it on the show. They front run with the best of them. They get away with it a lot. They shimmy on people. They shoot threes and walk away. They yelling in your face. That's what they do. That's what added to their bravado. And it led them to 73 wins. But you can't necessarily knock them for thinking that way. That was their 7th straight victory against Cleveland, and and they had a right to feel that way. Considering the series they came off of. But you have to respect your opponent, and you have to respect LeBron James, who's done it and been in more finals than you have. And they didn't, and it ultimately seems like it came back to bite him, and that was that. Draymond kicked him in. So we've already covered a lot of that. So yeah, but overall I loved it, and I wish we have more of it. And I love how the referees handle most of it. They just kind of like, yo, y'all kind of chill out, because I don't want to call it tech. So it was great, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think I love it because I think but I will say this much about trash talking. Like the great Joe Namath said, it ain't talking trash if you can back it up. So but just understand that if you're gonna talk trash, particularly if you're gonna talk trash to LeBron, or if LeBron's gonna talk trash to Curry, somebody's got to back it up. And fortunately for the Cavs, they backed it up. Feefo, what'd you make of the trash talk between both teams?
That's how basketball's supposed to be played. I don't think I've ever been part of any basketball game where I ain't say or do something or somebody said or did something to me. I'm just be 1,000 right now. I don't think that's ever happened. I had to say something to somebody to let them know I'm going to be here all damn day. All right? And today is not a good day for you. So, look, man, I love it. It's definitely a part of basketball. I think it goes to that competitive nature, that spirit. That's what makes you rise to these other levels. You know what I'm saying? Either you are going to die and not be a part of the reason why you're going to win, or you're going to live and get his man work all damn day. You know what I'm saying? And route to a victory. And I loved it, man. Like, that's what we need. I also like how, again, just echoing what Ken said, how the refs kind of refereed it. But if we're gonna give them, if we're gonna give them props, then I gotta chop them down just a little bit, because I'm not gonna get fined. I ain't part of the NBA, so I ain't gotta pay no $25,000 fine at all. Thank you very much. But some of these calls was bad as hell. So they miss. I'm talking about blatant fouls. Blatant. It's off of the Warriors or the Cavs, and it goes to the opposite. I'm like, yo, what is going on here? What is going on here? And Aisha thought it was rigged and all of that. Nah, it was bad calls on both sides. It was bad calls on both sides. So it kind of evened out. But in terms of the physicality, that's how basketball is supposed to be played. I always feel like they don't give the defender enough leeway. Like, as an offensive player, you can throw a little shoulder, you can initiate contact, but as a defender, you gotta feel me too. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be throwing all that body around and you can't feel my left pec on your shoulder and they call me a foul. Nah, man. Nah. So I really liked how physical it was. It didn't really. Well, I guess it did kind of muddy up the game, but it was still beautiful at times. But you know, I'm done with ranting.
What about you, B? Your take on the trash talk. Now you're a bad boy, so I know that was right up your alley.
Yeah, I love it, man. I mean, it helps bring the emotion out in the game. You know, not just basketball, but all sports. You know what I'm saying? It's good to trash talk. I trash talked in baseball. You know, trash talk. Trash talking hooping. Usually, I'm not really the starter, but once someone trash talk me, the day they're starting it, I'm gonna be the guy that finish it. I'm not the one that's gonna start off like, yeah, I'm a trash talking. I'm a trash talking. I'm usually like, look, my game gonna show you what it's gonna do, and then if you want to trash talk in the process, really that's what all that's gonna do is amp me up. Really, you don't want to trash talk to me because all that's gonna do is just make me play harder and play better. So that's gonna like Incredible Hulk my ass some shit. But other than that, yeah, I think trash talking is great. It's great. I mean, if you can't take trash talking, then you shouldn't be playing sports at all, in my opinion. So it just like I said, it brings the emotion into the game, man. You need trash talking. You need it. So I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I do
Man.
too.
I love when I
B,
see
I thought it was
dudes
great.
trash talking. I love when I see dudes trash talk back. I love after dude turn around and hit a shot on you or something, and then you can see them clearly talking trash to you. I love it. I
B,
absolutely love it.
are you an initiator or are you just somebody that like claps back when somebody else start talking?
Yeah, I clap back. Like I don't initiate it. I never initiate trash talking. Like I'm always the clap back type of dude.
Yeah.
I don't never initiate. I don't never go into a game saying, you know what, I'm about to trash talk this dude. Even if it's like a rival or a nemesis or something, I just wait till they pop off. As soon as they say something, I'm like, all right, it's on. At that point, it's on. From there.
You know what's interesting? Like I wouldn't say I'm partly an initiator, but yeah, man, I definitely if I get you with something, I might not start talking smack, but you're gonna know I have an attitude, and I'm gonna let you know subtly before I open my mouth that it's gonna be a long day. I might give you that look, like, hey, hey, hey. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's up.
No doubt. Real quick, man. 73-9, the coach of the year, Steve Kerr. Ken, what happened to Steve
Why
Kerr?
you laugh like that, kid? Why? Why you so disrespectful?
Man, we all know Kerr didn't deserve that award, man. He coached half the year. I was going about that. And then he almost validated. Look. Here's the thing. I'm gonna give Kerr the work the same way I gave Donovan. Dog, you had a 3-1 lead over a seemingly lifeless Cavs team with 2 games at home, where you only lost 2 games all year, and you blow it with the MVP, with Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers.
Yep.
With Draymond Green, who should be part of the Big Three, by the way. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk about him. And you blew it. Your death lineup, the so-called death lineup that all you analytics guys were in love with all season long, got blown off the court. It had no answer. People want to talk about bogus injury. If you coach of the year, you can manage or you can coach around it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you didn't. You had no answers. You didn't have any confidence in Festus, which affected his play. You didn't have any. You kept throwing Anderson, Varejao, however you say it, out there, and he was largely terrible. But the thing is, you were 73-9, and you lost a 3-1 lead. That is inexcusable. Now, you got to 73-9 thanks to the great job that Luke Walton did. But look, this team, how much coaching do you have to do? And Luke Walton proved that.
Not a lot.
And when he needed to coach, when he was in a situation where he needed to coach, He didn't come through. You cannot lose a 3-1 lead with 2 games at home. I'm sorry.
2.
I'm sorry. You just can't do that. And now we gotta, at least for me, I'm looking at last year, and I'm looking at the ring they won, and it's a ring, it's a title. They got it. They played who was in front of them, but they were very, very fortunate. Because you went back this year with a better team, an experienced team, a championship team, a 73-9 team, and you lost a 3-1 lead in the finals, a Game 7 at home. Coach of the year, my ass.
Yeah. It definitely taints the legacy. I mean, like, you have to be realistic about it. I mean, like, you're 73-9. You run through the league, and you get Coach of the Year, and you got the MVP, and the Coach of the Year only coached 40-something games, and that's Kerr deserves a lot of the blame because he never could fit. I disagree slightly. I think the death lineup was okay. The problem was that they couldn't get stops on the other end. So it doesn't matter how crazy your lineup is. The problem was like in that game where Tristan Thompson went off with the rebounding. Golden State went small. Cleveland's like, okay, we'll kill you on the boards. We'll do exactly what OKC did. You go small, we'll stay big, and you can do that effectively if Thompson is engaged and involved in the game, and he was, and so was Kevin Love. So, and then LeBron and Kyrie were doing their thing. So, as a collective, which is what LeBron didn't have last year, I don't know. Feefo, Coach of the Year, man. Give us your take on Steve Kerr.
Hold on. Let me go way back.
Well, I can throw it to B.
No, we good. B not there either. Steve Kerr.
Okay.
Steve Kerr. It's easy to throw blame because when your basketball team doesn't look right. But I'm gonna give Steve Kerr some slack because when your best player, your unanimous MVP guy, you have to ask him, yo, is there something wrong? There's no amount of coaching in the world to make up for that. There just isn't. There's just isn't. I think that he played the guys that gave him something, Ken. Festus did not give him good minutes. Now, Varejao, I think he gave him a spark, but I think Maurice Spates definitely deserved more minutes in that matchup, especially more than Varejao, more than Festus in that matchup. But I think Steve Kerr did a decent job. I don't think it was a bad job. I don't think we need to absolve him of being Coach of the Year, mock him, or be childish. Ken, come on, why are we being childish?
I'm not. He coached half the year.
The man's team and his philosophy set an NBA regular season record for wins.
Luke Walton got half those wins, dog.
Huh?
Luke Walton got half those wins.
But Ken, did you peep what I said? I chose my
words. I heard you. I heard how you framed it. Philosophy. I'm not buying it.
But look, man, look. Kerr got to get some credit for that. I'm not saying he gets all the credit, but he got to get some credit for that, for the philosophy, for what he brought to them, because they wouldn't be a championship team without him. Let's be honest.
He got the ring, yes.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the best thing to happen to Golden State is lose. And the reason why, it makes the KD move so much better. Because that boy Harrison Barnes done played himself about out of $30 million.
Yeah. And
so I think that as Golden State, you have to look at this opportunity as an opportunity to retool and truly rethink the dynasty that you're really trying to create right here. Because you do have an opportunity to become a juggernaut, and you should.
Yeah. Look, if I'm gonna give Billy Donovan as much as I did for losing the 3-1 lead. I'm definitely not gonna take it light on Kerr. I'm not gonna disagree with most of what you said. I think that's why we have the show. It provides some balance. But I think what I'm saying and the way I look at it has to be taken into account anyway. And the other thing is this, real quick, and then I'll
but
let
not really, because you was unfair with Billy Donovan as well.
you guys believed I was unfair.
No, you're saying that they brought Billy Donovan to win championship first year. Come on, Ken. The man just came from college. Get the man
Don't
at
lose
least a year,
a 3-1 lead, Feefo.
I understand, but I still picked Golden State in 7 for a reason. For a reason.
And I didn't.
And my reason proved true.
And I didn't. And that's my fault. I shouldn't have trusted Billy Donovan because I ripped him all year long, and then I put my faith in him, and he let me down.
We ain't going to let Billy Donovan slide.
Yeah. The last thing is this, real quick, and I heard that I think it was Bontemps said that Kerr doesn't like this whole small ball thing. He likes to play. He's a traditionalist, so he likes the big approach. It just worked for him, so he ran with it. So for what that's worth, for all you guys out there, he got out coached.
No doubt. What about you, B? Your take on Steve Kerr?
He shouldn't have got Coach of the Year, in my opinion. Let's get that out the way.
Should have been Terry Stotts.
Yeah, Terry Stotts. I think Terry Stotts he should have been Coach of the Year, flat out, because we've all said it going into this season, from the off season going into this season, we all didn't have Portland not even having a shot, and in the West, come on, man. But yeah, I mean, Steve Kerr, I agree with Ken, man. I'm with Ken 100%. Like, he coached half the season, dude. Like, Luke Walton cursed the first 40 games, 41 games, and Steve Kerr came in and coached the rest of it. No. Like, I mean, he did an okay job. He just got out coached in the finals. You get 7 games to make the adjustments. We all said this before. Playoffs is about matchups and adjustments. And in the finals, he didn't make the proper adjustments for his teams to succeed and get that back-to-back championship. I completely agree with Ken. I mean, dude coach half of the season. So, like, how is that Coach of the Year when you coaching half of the season?
Yeah, man. I think, again, if you're the Coach of the Year, and I understand where people is going as far as, Curry not being there or not playing well. But at the end of the day, you got to find something. You got to, I don't know. I mean, and I thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, what would Phil Jackson do? What would Red Auerbach do if your best player? I mean, now Kerr, to his credit, he wasn't making any excuses for Curry. He was saying, Steph was, but he wasn't, he didn't public. And I know Kerr's he's not confrontational, so he's not going to challenge Curry. It wasn't like Curry was out there messing up because he wanted to. I mean, his game just wasn't. He was just off. But, if he was just off for 7 games or, 4 of the 7 games, then you got to look at Curry, and then you also have to look at his coach, because my thing is, if you're the coach of the year, you got to find a way. You're coaching against a guy who, and to this point, I still don't know how good or bad Tyronn Lue is, but I could say the same for Steve Kerr. I don't know. I mean, they're coaching some great teams, but I know Lue made some adjustments and Lue got them over the hump. So, it is what it is, man. It's another title. I mean, it's a title for Cleveland, another title for LeBron.
But look,
go ahead, Feefo.
Hold on, Ken. It's a make or miss league. It really is. In the first 2 games, Kyrie and LeBron did not make the shots that they typically make. That's what happened. And coming down the stretch, they made the shots that they typically make. And Golden State and Steph Curry did not make the shots on the regularity how we're accustomed to. They just didn't make the same amount of plays. That's all it was. Like, we could talk about coaching and breaking it down and doing this. Look, man, Steph Curry makes half of the shots that he took, we might be talking a different series. We really might be.
Yeah, we could have, but, I think there was something that I'm going to give Lou some credit. It wasn't looking good, but he pulled it off, and he got them to believe. He told them, if you don't think we can win, don't get on the plane. That means something to people. You know what I'm saying? And I got to give LeBron some credit for his leadership as well. But Tyronn Lue, he didn't let LeBron get away with the stuff LeBron got away with. when we were saying LeBron was passive, Tyronn Lue said it on camera. You know, multiple times sometimes in this series, he was like, LeBron needs to be more aggressive, and we need to play with more pace. You know, you could see in the first two games there were things they were trying to do. He stayed physical the whole game. He had them holding Curry the whole series. You know, he played when he went from Delly, he went from Fry, he started playing Richard Jefferson. He tried to bench Richard Jefferson in favor of Love. It didn't work. He went back to Kevin. Like, Lue did some things that worked and got them the championship, and he outcoached Kerr. And Kerr had no answers for the things that they were being thrown at him. Now, he was placed in a situation because of some of the injuries that they suffered, but, you know, you still had Draymond, Clay, and Curry, and you still had a chance to win in Game 7 with 4 minutes and 39 seconds to go. And, you know, and we all know what happened. But I think that, look, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this. Lue said something that I thought was really, really interesting. He said that after the Game 6 win, he said, you cannot simulate Golden State's offense in practice. And the first two games was essentially them filling them out and figuring out how they were going to play them this series. And we saw that from Game 3 on, and I know they fell apart in Game 4. Game 4 is the make or miss lead cliche because the Cavs missed shot. But they had a lead in that game. I think they were up 14 at one point. You know, so from Game 3 on, they controlled the series. And the things they wanted to do, the things they did in small stretches in the first two games, they sustained for the rest of the series.
And
long enough to get wins.
And you're 100% right. I didn't say what I said to marginalize what Tyronn Lue did. I was just talking on the behalf of Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Tyronn Lue coached his ass off. Tyronn Lue did what I always say. Like you saw it. Basketball is chess and checkers. You have a philosophy. Look at the way he played throughout the season, right? Like, since he took over, he got a little bit more up-tempo. He went to Tristan and K-Love versus Mozgov in the starting lineup, right? They played a little bit higher pace, but that's the chess. He got to the championship. Oh, we moving these pieces around, bro. Like, because we have to figure this out. This is what it is. Like, if I gotta sit K-Love, if I gotta play this guy here, you gotta make those moves. And I think the biggest thing is that he dictated matchups. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. I have to figure out how to get LeBron on your weakest link. How do I do that? Oh, you're gonna make it easy, then we'll do it easy. If you're gonna make it hard, then we'll do what we have to do. But it all starts on defense. They played great defense. They were focused and connected defensively. And then it translated. And then you have virtuoso performances because that's what you pay guys over $90 million to do. And that's what they did. And Ty Lue deserves a lot of credit for moving the pieces around on that board for it to make sense and for them to come out victorious. Oh, yes. I agree with you, Ken.
Oh, we have a first.
No, it happens. It happens.
Oh, man, that reminds me when we show up for the video shoots and then y'all start agreeing. I'm like, damn, I ain't show up for this. Oh, man. We got about 5 minutes left, so as I mentioned at the top, we really don't. This could have been a 4-hour show, to be honest, because there's so much more that we could have talked. I definitely wanted to get into that rig talk, but we can save that for another day, another show. Draymond Green as well. We got the NBA draft coming up this Thursday, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. Shout out to our boy Dakota Schmidt, who's going to be covering it as well. So make sure that you check out any pieces he puts up. Make sure that you follow Off the Bench, homies Ryan and Q. They're going to have, I'm sure you show more finals talk as well. We'll still be talking about the finals. Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Cool. So they got something coming soon as well. He said a 4-hour show? They did a 4-hour show?
I don't even want to talk about it. Damn. It's flat out ridiculous. and they know it.
Oh
3
my God. Okay.
I don't know what.
They don't have nothing to do. If you do a 4
All
hour
right, man.
show,
So yeah, there's no way you should do a 4-hour show unless you're getting paid. Um, nevertheless, man, let's get some parting shots before we get out of here. Feefo, you're up first with any parting shots.
yo, my party shots is for all of y'all, fans, dead and hip hop crew included.
Oh.
Look, my sport opinion does not collide. It'll lead you to the lights. I am the path to the light. Just listen to your boy Feefo, man. Listen to your boy Feefo. I'll be right on the line. Sometimes we might take a couple left and rights unexpectedly, but yeah, I'm gonna get you where you need to go. Holla at your boy.
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, B? Any parting shots?
No, I don't even think I got no parting shots. Well, my only parting shot is earlier today, when I was still in Detroit, I went to the Dilla Delight donut shop, which was dope as hell.
Oh man, how was that?
Man, and the donuts was off the chain, man. Them donuts was so good, but it was cool. And you know, I got some stories. One of Dilla's family members, Glenn, he was working there at the time. He said Dilla's daughters worked there on the weekends. So I just happened to be there. He was just telling us some stories about Dilla and his childhood and stuff like that. I mean, and it was like an organic conversation. It wasn't even like on some, hey man, tell us about Dilla. Like it was just like just on some just natural conversation type stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was just telling us some stories about Dilla, man, which was like stuff that you just won't hear nowhere else, anything like that. It was dope, man. It was really a good experience. So that's my parting shot.
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, Ken?
Today was Skip Bayless's last show. It was nice. Yeah, man. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I like Skip, man. He made the show entertaining, as ridiculous as some of his stuff was, and that's all I watched it for, was entertaining, and some of the inside information that they have from some of the connections that they have. So shout out to Skip. I'm curious to see what he does next, even though I may not listen to it, but nevertheless, after 13 years, he's out. So salute the OG Skip. Draymond Green, man. Look, I've been critical about the Warriors here and there, all valid. Throughout this year, I think this was by far one of the most entertaining NBA seasons we've had in a long time, filled with plenty of storylines. Even though they didn't win the NBA title, the run for 73 made it interesting. And I think what B said, via text to us, is that whatever happened Sunday, we were going to witness history. And that's what type of year this was in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
The 73-9, the chase was the record. Coming back from 3-1, the Warriors did. And LeBron winning the chip, in the rematch, which we all wanted and got. It went 7. We won as NBA fans. And regardless of who you hate or dislike, I think if you are a fan of the NBA, you have to sit back and just say, you know what, this was a great year, and just enjoy it for what it is. And that's kind of the approach that I'm taking moving forward, man. I really want to just sit back and just enjoy what I'm watching. I'm love that we do this show, man, because we get a chance to, leave a blueprint, leave a time capsule, on things that we're doing on the sports topics, and everything that we say, is documented, so anybody can go back and watch it. But Draymond Green, I've been critical of this year, but I gotta tell you, man, he makes some boneheaded plays, he does some crazy stuff, but that man showed up in Game 7. That man showed up to play where nobody else did.
Right.
And I got to give him all the props. And even after the game, he's saying, like, the comments that he said after the game, he just got so much respect from me. Yeah, he still traced triple doubles.
Right.
He still does. But nevertheless, man, he's still the character he's shown in winning and in defeat spoke a lot of volumes to me. And the last thing is this. For all of you that talked all your shit about the Warriors all year long, I had to listen to it. I had to argue with you because you thought I hated the Warriors. I didn't hate the Warriors. I hated some of you. But, y'all lost, man. And some of you lost to the one person you didn't want to lose to, LeBron James. And y'all got to live with that for the rest of your life. And everybody that hated
Oh my
LeBron
God.
James, you got to live with this for the rest of your life because I know you wanted to see him lose, and you wanted to see him lose badly, and you didn't want to see him win, and you didn't want to see him make history winning, and he did, and y'all got to sulk. And you know what? We'll pick it up next year, but don't bring that shit to
Yep.
me. Great
Yep.
NBA season.
Exactly. Exactly. My partner shot is, man, I've been watching basketball. I've been watching the NBA since 1980, longer than many of you watching this program. And for the most part, most of the time that I've watched in these years of watching the NBA, the Warriors have sucked and the Cavs have sucked. The Cavs had a little run there, in the in the 90s, only to be thwarted by Michael Jordan's Bulls. The Warriors had a little run, but they didn't. They had a couple of runs, but nothing like this. What we've seen over the last few years. That being said, being a Hawks fan, I hope that because we're not a good team, at some point in my lifetime, we can have us a parade down Peachtree Street, culminating at Magic City. I would love for that to happen. So, given the fact that we saw Golden State win a title, given the fact that we've seen Cleveland win a title, I'm hopeful that the Hawks can win a title. I just hope it doesn't take 40 years because I ain't got 40 years to wait. That's going to do it for this week. For Ken, for B, for Feefo, I'm your host, 12 Kyle. We'll holler at you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Man, what the hell? This remote is straight ass.